I'm going to show you how to get started with Apporto. I've logged in and the first page that I see is called the App Store. This is where I can access all of the desktops and applications that have been made available to me by my administrator. I can also see any announcements that may be relevant. I'm going to go ahead and launch the Windows desktop. It takes a couple of seconds to load, and this is because we're connecting to a server in the cloud and Windows is starting up. When the desktop is loaded, you can see all of the software applications that are installed. To get started working right away, you could simply double-click on any of these applications to open them and begin work. Before that, let's take a look at the options available in the menu. One of the most useful options is this colorful 5-bar indicator in the upper right corner. This tells you at a glance how fast your internet connection is responding. 5 bars is very fast. 1 bar is pretty slow. This is useful because a fast and reliable internet connection is key to fast performance when you're using the software in Apporto. The next most important option that you have is called File Upload. Before you start work, it's very common to have to get files, maybe a homework assignment, from your computer and upload it to Apporto. If I click here, it opens a local file navigator on my own computer. I can browse through folders and select any file that I might want. I'm going to upload my homework. When I hit Open, the file begins transferring from my computer to the Apporto desktop, and I see a success message when the file has completely uploaded. I can also see the file right here on my desktop. Now, I uploaded a pretty small file. Had I uploaded something very large, like a video file, it could have taken several minutes to complete the upload, in which case a progress bar would have appeared in the bottom right corner to show me the status. So that's the first way you can access your files. The next is by connecting to cloud storage services, and you can use a tool called the Apporto Cloud Mounter. This will give you the option to connect to services such as Google Drive, OneDrive, Box, Dropbox, or even a local university network drive. I'm going to show you how to connect to Google Drive. When I hit the Connect button, it prompts me to enter my account credentials. Once I've entered my credentials, I grant permission to Apporto to access my files from Google. Now, this drive has been mounted to my File Explorer, and I can navigate through any of my folders on G Drive to access files. We recommend if you have a particularly large file, it's best to copy it over to Apporto. You can simply drag and drop to do this before you start working with it. Then, whenever I want to get back to Google Drive, all I need to do is open File Explorer, navigate to the G Drive, and can browse through my folders and access any files that I need there. The third option that you have for accessing files is via a shared folder. If your administrator has set this up, you'll see a folder icon on your desktop. I can double-click to open, and I'll see folders for each of my courses, as well as I can navigate to my own user folder. Right now, I'm interested in my biology course, so I'm going to open that up and I can copy my syllabus over to my desktop. Now that I've got my homework, syllabus, and an art file here, I can go ahead and begin my work. The next set of menu options that may be useful to you are the ability to share your screen if you want to collaborate with others on a group project, or, for example, ask your faculty a question. You can share screens in 3 different ways, and each one gives a little bit more permission to the other user. This first option allows me to share my screen in view-only mode so that the other person can see what I'm working on. I could also give that person the ability to annotate or draw on my screen. Lastly, I could grant full control so that the other user could remotely control my desktop, maybe if I'm trying to troubleshoot an issue and need some assistance, either from a tech support or my faculty. To show you what this looks like, I'm just going to click the full control option, copy this, and then I would actually email this link or put it in the chat and send it to my colleague. My colleague or teacher can paste this link into a browser, and now they can see my desktop. They can even click within my desktop. For example, if my teacher wanted to help me answer a question about my homework, they could open this file. How can I help? I can see what they have typed and respond. But when I'm done sharing and I want to stop, I can simply click Stop Sharing, and the other user will see a disconnected message. Going back to my own screen, I can collaborate in other ways, for example, by using Messenger. Messenger works pretty much the same as any other messaging tool like Facebook Messenger and so on. The only difference here is that if I'm a member of a class and my administrator has set this up, I can easily access a list of all of the people in my class, including my professor. If they were online, I could reach out and ask a question. I could even call them or share screens through the Messenger tool. Lastly, another feature that is available to you is called Analytics. This shows you a bit of information about your activity and the total amount of time you spent using the desktop. It takes a moment to load because there can be a fair amount of data, but I can see here that I started using Apporto over a year ago, maybe in a fall semester for some coursework. My total time has grown. If I were curious, I could compare myself to the average, and I can see that I've actually spent more than the average person using Apporto. This is just informational, but can sometimes be helpful if you just want a little insight about your usage. Similarly, in the upper right-hand corner, you can see how much time you've spent in this session and a little bit about your activity, which includes your mouse and keyboard activity. Last but not least, there are a few options here. For example, to toggle to full screen so that you have a little more space to work, you can click to resize back. You can turn sound on and off. Last but not least, you can check to see some of your browser settings, for example, whether or not your microphone is enabled or your clipboard is enabled. The microphone is useful if you want to make a voice call through Messenger, and the clipboard is useful if you want to copy and paste between your own computer and Apporto. That's a bit of an intro to using the desktop. Thank you!